I didn't see you there. Welcome to my house. Just kidding, we're not doing one of those videos today. Instead, we are going to be talking about 5 ways that you can change your space with really little effort, but a big impact. Now, I want to preface this by saying that these are not renter friendly. We own this house, or at least we're paying off this house so we can own it one day. And so these are not renter friendly, unfortunately. I feel like there are plenty of renter friendly videos like this on the internet, but we have been in this house for a little over a year, and I personally feel like a lot has changed. So I thought this would be a good way to sort of document some of the changes that we've made in this house since we moved in, while also maybe giving a little bit of advice to new homeowners that are just kind of overwhelmed. You just bought an existing home and there's things that you don't really love about it, and you know, the list seems really long when it comes to things to do in house projects, and we still have things that we're working on, but hopefully this will help sort of calm the nerves a little bit, give you some ideas for how you can elevate your space and make it a little bit more personalized for you without having to do major renovations, because let's be honest, that's very expensive and it's also very disruptive when it comes to your life. So during this video, I'm going to start by telling you a way that you can elevate your space, and then I'm going to show you pictorial evidence of the way that we've sort of incorporated that into our homeowner's journey when it comes to personalizing this home. So the first one is color palette. Now this was a kind of a major mind-blowing one for me that I didn't even really think about until I saw it in our own space. So I'll put a picture across the screen of what the living room used to look like in this home. And when you see the pictures, and even when we were touring it the first time, it felt very cool toned, very gray, very, I don't know, just cold. It's not my style. Warm tones, earth tones, things like that, those are kind of my husband's and my style. But the cool tones, the grays and the teals and, you know, all that stuff, it felt very cold and sterile for me. And I was kind of worried about that because I really didn't want to repaint this massive living room. But it turns out all it needed was some warm upgrades. So we have a warm gray couch in this new version of our living room. We have a new rug with green and ivory that are both on the warm spectrum. We have a bright orange chair. We have artwork that is warmer toned. We have blankets and pillows that sort of ground that earthy, warm feeling in the room. And I was amazed, I'm still amazed at how different the living room looks in terms of tone, just with furniture and decor changes. So that's the first one. The second thing that I have on my list for you is hardware. So we've swapped out a lot of hardware in our home. I'll show you a before and after of our kitchen with chrome hardware versus matte black hardware. And then we've also swapped out all of the hardware in the bathroom. So I'll probably show you a picture of the guest bathroom upstairs and all of the hardware that we've swapped out, because it really makes a big difference. And you can get them on Amazon for fairly inexpensively. I think the trickiest part is finding the right spacing for your hardware, especially if you're like our house and you have a lot of drawer pulls with 2 holes instead of just the knobs. So make sure you do your measurements, make sure that you have a good return policy, but it really is quite an easy way to elevate your space and give it a different style without having to like rip out the countertops or get all new cabinets. Another great way to elevate your space, and I would say arguably the most fun way to elevate your space, is by changing your decor, whether that's art, window treatments, rugs, starting with this little crochet leaf wall hanging behind me. Decor is just such a fun way to personalize your house, and it really ties in the color palette that you've chosen. It ties in, you know, your interests as a person owning a home. It can portray your values, whether you have a lot of family photos on your wall or if you have any religious art around your house. It can help display your hobbies. Like I have a couple crochet pieces hung up. We also have some hunting prizes, I guess, some Euro mounts, some deer skulls hung up in our office. So it's a really fun way to not only express yourself and to portray, you know, pieces of you to the people who you welcome into your home, but it also just makes it feel more like yours. You know, when your stuff is in here, when your decor is in here, it just feels like your home, and it is. So when you finally get to the point where it's decorated enough to where it feels like yours, it's a really special feeling. I almost didn't include this next one because I wouldn't say that it's necessarily low effort, but it is relatively low cost and it can make a big impact, and that is paint color. So I'm going to show you a picture of my guest bedroom, one of the guest bedrooms that we have in this house. And this is the old paint color, also the old layout of the room. And it's kind of hard to see in these photos, but in real life, lightening up the paint color in this room made such a big difference in terms of how big the room feels, how airy the room feels. Paint color is definitely a really amazing way to change up your space. And the last thing I have for you is lighting. Now there's a couple different ways that you can sort of change up the lighting in your home. One of them is just changing out light bulbs. You know, if you have really cool toned light bulbs and you want more of a homey, warmer feel to your home, you can always just swap your light bulbs out for warmer white. Or the opposite, if you don't really like the warmer white and you like the bright incandescent lights, you can always switch to a cooler light bulb as well. Just personal preference. And then the other way that you can sort of change up your lighting to elevate your space is by what surrounds the source of light. So that can be different lampshades, different, I don't even know, cages, what you want to call this thing hanging above us right now. You know, right now we have a very modern geometric look to most of our hanging lights, and I don't mind them because they're matte black, so they match a lot of our hardware, but at some point I think I would like to switch them out for baskets that have more of a wicker or a rattan feel to it. We have a couple lamps that are like that, and I really like the way that they you know, just sort of project warm light in the environment around it. So eventually we might end up swapping those for something else. Not super high on the priority list, so we're probably not going to do it anytime soon, but it is a pretty simple and easy way, and it can be quite affordable as well if you get light fixtures from Amazon. I've gotten a couple different light fixtures from Amazon, including ones that were ceiling mounted that we swapped downstairs, and I've been pretty happy with them so far. They were, you know, at least high enough quality to where they were functioning and no one got electrocuted. So there are 5 relatively easy ways, I would say, to transform your space and make a really big impact. I wanted to end this video by giving a little bit of encouragement to those who maybe just bought their first home or they just leased their first apartment and they may be looking at the list of things that they would like to do and it may be a little overwhelming for you. And I just want to let you know that the most important thing on your list is the next one. All you have to worry about is finishing the next project. And then once that's done, once that's checked off, move down the line. What's the next one? Okay, that's the focus. Be patient with yourself. Also be realistic about your budget. It's expensive. I don't know how many thousands of dollars I've spent furnishing this home and decorating this home, but it has been thousands of dollars. Now it's been thousands of dollars spread out over, you know, a 13-month period, 14-month period, but it is expensive, and luckily we bought well below our means, and so we have a pretty significant amount of disposable income even after all of the bills have been paid. But not everybody is in that position, and so just be patient and realistic about your goals when it comes to what you want your home to look like. And you also don't have to do anything crazy the first 5 years of you owning a home. You really don't. My parents, once they bought their home, you know, they renovated the basement because they ended up having 2 extra kids, and then after that they really didn't touch their home for a decade, if not more. So don't feel the pressure to get everything done right now just because you see a home on Pinterest or Instagram or YouTube or TikTok or whatever it is. Don't feel like your home has to look like that home overnight, okay? It's not realistic for 95% of Americans. So just do what you can, don't let it overwhelm you, and enjoy the process, because having a place that you can call your own is such a privilege. And it's such a privilege to have to work on this house. I get to work on this house because it's mine. And I'm just really grateful for that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got inspired by this video. If you have any other tips or tricks on how to elevate your space, I would love to hear about them, because hopefully we're going to be in this home for a while. So we have plenty of projects to go. But thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. It actually does really help me out. Like, comment, interact with my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.